G'day guys, Nate here coming at you with a July edition updated video discussing Collingwood out of contract players in 2026. Keyword specifying out of contract Collingwood players in 2026. So this video won't be trade talk or speculation or murmurs or rumours or anything like that. Not talking Lockie Neal, Zach Butters, Mitch Lewis, Ben King or anything like that. That's for separate videos. I'll be discussing trade rumours and whatnot end of July, sometime in August, maybe September. It all depends on when Collingwood's season officially ends and where we finish up and whatnot. This is just going to be internal talk at Collingwood, our current out of contract players, 16 to be exact. There's been updates since my last video a couple of months ago, the May edition for Collingwood out of contract players. We've got mid-season recruits to talk about. This will be more milk toast compared to May. Bit of moving parts to be involved and talked about here. And you've got your own speculation, your opinions, who stays, who goes, who gets extended, who might be traded and whatnot. This sort of video, my opinions and sort of where I end up at the moment, that will likely change in August when we know a little bit more about certain players and expectations and whatnot. So it may be different to your opinions, but leave your comments down below, your thoughts on these out of contract Collingwood players, who stays, who goes, who gets extended, who gets traded, who gets delisted, who retires, everything involved regarding all Collingwood players out of contract. 16 Collingwood players. Last time it was 14. 3 mid-season recruits, Billy Frampton extending. No other updates on extensions for Collingwood players. Just before I get into this video officially, though, bit of a shout out to the Into the Woods podcast. They're doing a live panel show for tomorrow night, 7 p.m. start, ends at around 9 p.m. It's going to be a rotating panel, so certain people come in, certain people go out. That'll be me. I'll be involved for that. I will leave a link in the description below. Check it out tomorrow night. There's a lot of live streams going on, content creator wise, for Collingwood fans. So check it all out. I'll be involved on some of them. So watch this space, yada, yada, yada. Cheap plugs out of the way, getting into this Collingwood discussion for out of contract players 2026. And again, it's the July edition, but I am going to recap or go over what I had for May. So I had Pendlebury, side bottom, Jeremy Howe all retiring. That was my opinion at the time for May. Membry, Sullivan, Ryan were my only delistings at the time. 50-50s on Ed Allen, Will Parker, Noah Howes, Alito Smith, and Joel Cochran. And I had Jack Crisp, Billy Frampton, and Just Saxena all staying. Frampton, again, has extended. Crisp has hit his performance trigger, yet there's no official word on him extending yet again. And Saxena was the other one that was staying. That was my thoughts at the time. In the last 2 months, again, Frampton extending. We've also had 3 mid-season recruits, Harrison Coe, Liam Puncher, and Mitch Padatsky. So 16 Collingwood players out of contract 2026. Hopefully we get some updates between now and the August edition of the Collingwood out of contract players. This may be far from over on guarantees on who plays on and who gets delisted, who gets traded, who retires, who's forced out and whatnot. But you've got my May 2026 edition, my thoughts and my results or outcomes or whatever. And here's my updated July 2026 edition, who stays, who goes. So a few changes. I've still got Pendlebury and Sidebottom retiring. The reason for Pendlebury, he's still being managed month to month. 2 or 3 games that gets managed. I don't think we'll be having that in 2027. Obviously, with Lockie Neal expected to come to Collingwood. Not a guarantee. I'll discuss that in a future video. But if Lockie Neal's coming in, we're not relying on Pendlebury as much, and he's doing assistant coaching pretty much. He's a playing coach right now. I can see it based on his performances, his stats right now, that he could play on one more year. It's either going to be retire or 50-50 for me. So for Pendlebury, 23.8 disposals a game so far in 2026, 3.5 clearances, still more handballs than kicks, 7 score involvements, 2 inside 50s. I'm still leading towards Pendlebury retiring. That's based off being managed in the last few games. Still side bottom. I'm still having him as retiring this year. 16.5 disposals a game, 2.2 inside 50s, 3.5 score involvements a game. Not in the midfield anymore. We're not relying on still side bottom. We still need his experience and wisdom and whatnot, but it's not a reliance on side bottom anymore. He was managed for King's birthday. Yeah, we've got youngsters coming through who can play his role and then some, and yeah, that's what we need. Now, for the May edition, I had Jeremy Howe as retiring. That's changed. That's now 50-50. Now, he's played every game since coming in against GWS. 17.6 disposals a game, 6.8 marks a game, 6.4 intercepts, and 2.9 score involvements. Playing well, his body's holding up. I say this as of July 13th. He's in for scans, he's 50-50 for Carlton, and if his groin's playing up again, then this 50-50 might change to being retired again. 36 years old, so age is a factor, but our depth isn't there. Jeremy Howe is still required at Collingwood. Yeah, it's going to be like Pendlebury, 50-50 or retiring. Another change is Tim Membry for the good. Membry, he had 9 goals from 7 games as of May 2026, 4.7 score involvements. As of July 2026, he's now kicked 22 goals across 13 games this year, 5.2 score involvements, 5.5 marks a game, or 5.5 marks a game. So I'm trying to say he's gone from being delisted or out to being 50-50. Now, I had him as delisted more so because of Charlie West, Jack Buller, and maybe another recruit coming in for the key forwards. We need to look at the youngsters, and Membry was the sacrificial lamb for that. However, his form warrants a 1 year extension, and he's 50-50 right now. Collingwood may think we still need to move on. But Tim Membry's kicked 13 goals from 6 games, so between videos for these stay or go editions, Membry's improved, on track for 30 plus goals again. And off that, he warrants or deserves a 1 year extension. I'm not leaning towards staying yet. If he keeps his form up into August, then I'll change it to staying. He may extend between now and then, but that's a watch this space. Jack Crisp, I've still got him staying. He's hit that performance trigger, but averaging 21.8 disposals a game, 5.2 marks a game, 4.2 tackles, 3.5 inside 50s, 5.5 score involvements, and 4 intercepts a game. He's not one of our best players. He'll never be in the top 5, top 6 best on grounds unless we're managing players and we need someone to stand up in Jack Crisp. But he's still reliable. He's durable. Hasn't missed a game yet. That may change still in 2026, but I've got him staying for 1 more year. Ed Allen, I've got him as 50-50, and I'll explain why. 12 AFL games played in 2026, 15 disposals a game, 4.8 tackles, 2.1 clearances, 2.4 inside 50s, 2.9 score involvements. Finally, finally, finally staying in the best 23 as a midfielder. Now, if I had it my way, I'd extend Ed Allen's contract yesterday. He's 50-50 based on being trade bait or being traded or looking elsewhere. And it's fair enough for Ed Allen. And it goes to show our lack of development and our trust in our youngsters. 4 seasons at Collingwood, finally in the best 23, playing his natural game. Hopefully, Ed Allen shows a bit of loyalty, but I wouldn't blame him if he looks elsewhere, gets better opportunities elsewhere. If it happens, we'll talk about and speculate on trade value. But for me, I'd extend him. I want him to stay, but he's 50-50 because you just never know with Ed Allen. There's the go home factor. There's other clubs that will be asking for his services. Yeah, it's all a watch this space. Genuine 50-50 right there. And just getting into players who can't crack into the best 23. Lockie Sullivan turns 29 in September. 1 AFL game this year, averaging 22.4 disposals in the VFL. He's kicked 8 goals from 11 VFL games this year, 4.5 clearances, 5 tackles, and 4.2 inside 50s in the VFL per game. He's reliable in the VFL. And if we do have a massive injury list coming up, then Lockie Sullivan, he'll be needed. But I think it's leading towards being delisted. He's been valuable for Collingwood across 3 seasons, but we need to look at youngsters. Will Parker, 24 years old, on 5 AFL games in 2026, averaging 11 disposals a game, averaging just under 17 disposals a game in the VFL. Genuine 50-50. If he can't crack the best 23 at the end of this year, or isn't playing games of AFL footy by the end of 2026, genuine 50-50, he'll be told to wait unless there's a club knocking for Will Parker's services. Just like Ed Allen, but in terms of depth, genuine 50-50. Jacob Ryan turns 22 in September, still stuck on 1 AFL game. He's played every VFL game so far in 2026, averaging just under 23 disposals a game. If he's not playing AFL footy by the end of the year, I can't see him staying on for 1 more year. He's out of contract, just like Sullivan. If he's not playing AFL, he's going to be delisted, unfortunately. And I'll just speed run the next 4. Noah Howes might debut against Carlton. Watch this space. Coming back from a shoulder injury, he's turned to a key defender. Not a lockdown key defender, but he's still serviceable. He looks good as a key defender in the VFL. 50-50 right now, depending on his circumstances. If he's making his AFL debut this year, if he looks the goods by the end of the year, he might stay on one more year. Aliro Smith turns 21 in August, yet to make his AFL debut, playing as a ruck forward. Another one that's 50-50. Joel Cochran, 20 years old, yet to debut, could debut. He'll be coming in instead of Noah Howes. He's also returning from a shoulder injury. He's more of a rebounding type defender. He's not bad at it in the VFL. Intercepts well. Also 50-50 with Noah Howes. Just Saxena turns 19 in 2 weeks' time, 27th of July. Yet to make his AFL debut. I don't expect Just Saxena to make his AFL debut, but he's played 13 VFL games in 2026, 16 goals, so averaging just over a goal a game, 12 and a half disposals a game, 1.2 tackles, 2.7 inside 50s. Can play on the wing at times. Category B rookie. He'll stay. We've got to upgrade him and give him a full preseason for next year and hopefully makes his debut in 2027, AFL wise. And just with the mid-season recruits, I'll go in order from when we drafted them. Harrison Coe, Ruckman, 26 years old, yet to debut of the 3 mid-season recruits. He's played 13 VFL games in 2026, 23.7 hitouts a game, 15 disposals a game, 5 marks a game. And in terms of ruck depth, with Oscar Steen out until May 2027, I'd like to keep Harrison Coe, but I've got him 50-50 alongside Aliro Smith. I can see it being one of the other. One stays, one goes. However, they may change their mind, Collingwood. They may want to keep them both. Liam Puncher made his AFL debut 2 games ago, turns 23 in August. He's had 16 disposals in total across 2 AFL games, 100% disposal efficiency, spoiling well. He's a good look. He's a good key defender so far, and I'd have him staying. I'd extend him right now. Yeah, 23 years old. He's the youngest of the mid-season recruits, and he looks the good so far. So keep him on. And Mitch Badadsky, 27 years old, 2 AFL games so far, just the 1 goal on King's birthday, 12 VFL games so far in 2026, 37 goals kicked, averaging 3 goals a game in the VFL. Too good for the VFL, not good enough for the AFL. 27 years old, 50-50 for me. For depth, we may want to keep Membry and move on Mitch Badadsky. There may be a club out there that wants Mitch Badadsky as well, so that's a watch this space. So of the 16 players, I've got 9 as 50-50s. That will likely be lowered in August and beyond. A few delistings in Lockie Sullivan, Jacob Ryan, a few retirees in Pendlebury and Sidebottom. I want Crisp, Saxena, Puncher to stay. I want Ed Allen to stay, but I've got him 50-50 because of the go-home factor. Looking for better opportunities, consistency, you name it. That's a genuine watch this space. So of the 9 out of 16 50-50s there for these players out of contract. It's milk toast. I apologise for that. But I just think in the coming months or 2, that will get dwindled down. Hopefully we see Ed Allen stay at Collingwood. A few other players announce a 1-year extension, and it'd be less of a headache for me talking about these out of contract players. You've got your own thoughts and opinions regarding these Collingwood out of contract players. Any disagreements, feel free to leave your comments down below. Yet again, I wouldn't disagree with you entirely, but there's factors involved regarding these players out of contracts, why it's 50-50. I can see Collingwood holding on to these players out of contracts, holding them off until the end of August, early September, possibly the trade period. But again, I'll be on Into the Woods podcast Tuesday night for the live stream, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Up the pies.